Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 3 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the SVG-100 sniper rifle. This is the big boy in the sniper rifle in the group. This is the heavy hitter. This is the one that gets the most one-shot kills. So let's talk about the damage. It'll deal 99 damage as the base damage, which is absurdly high for any weapon just for a base damage. Technically not the highest in the sniper rifle class since the P06 shoots 3 bullets at X90, which will be higher, but this is the highest damage in the game per single bullet, with the exception of a few specialist abilities, which will be coming up on In Depth. But the bigger question is, what are the one-shot kill areas on this gun? And the answer is anywhere above the knees. This gun can get one-shot kill even down there in the legs, like those upper knees, like the thighs and stuff. You can get one-shot kills right there. Kills in the groin, lower stomach, belly button, chest, head, neck, shoulders. Pretty much anywhere that's not the feet is going to be a one-shot kill, and if you've ever sniped in a Call of Duty game before, you're already going to be going for chest shots, so you are almost never going to get hit markers with the SVG-100. It is a one-shot machine. It gets the most one-shot kills of any sniper rifle in the entire game, but you probably didn't need me to tell you that if you've played it at all, because you would know it's very obvious. Suppressor is a good choice because Suppressor has no negative effect whatsoever on the SVG-100. It does not change the one-shot kill area's rate of fire, recoil, or anything. It just keeps you off the radar so that you don't attract a whole lot of attention to yourself, and you get the same one-shot kill areas, which is very, very nice. One of the things that is not very nice about this weapon is the rate of fire at only 41 rounds per minute, making it the slowest firing sniper rifle in its class and a very slow firing weapon in general. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking off the top of my head here, I cannot think of a sniper rifle in a Call of Duty game that fires any slower than this. Even if I'm thinking about Advanced Warfare, some of the sniper variants that fired slower, I don't think they got down to 41 RPM, if maybe they were like tied with it, but this is an extremely slow firing weapon. There is a huge delay between getting your next shots. A lot of snipers or professional types complain about it. Oh, it's hard to get feeds because it shoots too slow or something like that. So do keep that in mind. It is very important not to miss because your follow-up shot will take a long time. And speaking of not missing, there is no auto aim whatsoever on the SVG-100. Like the Locust and some of the beta sniper rifles, we have no auto aim on this weapon, which is very unusual for console shooters. It's going to make the handling very unusual, very frustrating, because every single gun in the game, with the exception of the Locust and this one, has auto aim. So your target acquisition feel is going to be totally off. It's going to be harder to snipe, and honestly, if people just sit there and sidestep just like a little bit, if they just move, it just makes it really, really hard. This sniper rifle is about lining up shots and picking off people that aren't paying attention or catching them in choke points. It's not about picking them out of the air, popping people that are moving very fast, because it's going to be very difficult. Thankfully, it pretty much doesn't have any recoil, or recoil isn't really applicable, because when it shoots so slow, you're going to be perfectly recentered and ready to go by the time you're ready for your second shot. So recoil is not going to be an issue whatsoever. One thing that will be an issue is that it has the slowest aim down sights time in the sniper rifle class at 400 milliseconds. That is extremely slow. I mean, that's very slow for Black Ops 3. You'll definitely notice that this ADS is slower than the Drakon, the P06, or the Locust. What it'll probably feel like is just feel like awkward handling to you. It won't have that good, quick snap onto target acquisition, and that's a bad thing. That makes it a very bad weapon if you want to quick scope or fast snipe or be a mobile sniper or anything even remotely like that. Hipfire is quite poor, and I believe I used this analogy on a different in-depth, but hipfiring the SVG-100 is like buying a lottery ticket. Yeah, you might get a one-shot kill, but more often than not, you're going to hit nothing and everybody's going to stare at you like you're an idiot because you wasted a shot or wasted your money on a lottery ticket. I mean, the hipfire is huge. You need to be kind of point blank to hit it. You're just not going to hit very much hipfire with this sniper rifle no matter what you do. It's just not going to happen. I would recommend it against it every time. I think you'd be better off trying to quick scope or fast snipe or melee somebody or pull out a secondary or do almost anything else other than hip firing. And I'm going to say that you can use any optics you want on this sniper rifle, but I like the default scope. Unlike the Locust, this one doesn't really gravitate toward the default scope too much. It's not so bad if you put an ELO or a Recon, or in my case, I just happen to like the Varix on it. If you want to use it as a one-shot kill close range weapon, you kinda can, just because you can hit the legs and it works, even though it aim down sight's really slow. But personally, I like the default scope. I like being way far away from people. I like getting second chances on shooting them, which I don't get in close range, so I tend not to use the default scopes unless I have to. I use all kind of crazy stuff for in-depth, but if you see me using this gun for real, it's probably going to be with the default scope. scope. Magazine size is 6, and extended mags will bump you up all the way to 8. Whoa, 8, no, 2 extra rounds, not very useful on extended mags there. Low magazine count in general, and you will definitely be reloading quite a bit. Thankfully, reload time isn't too bad. It's only 3 seconds, which is average for the sniper rifle class. Nothing really good, bad, or special about that. Another bad thing about the sniper rifle is that it has the highest idle sway in its class. It has the most amount of sway, the most speed, all the negative attributes of idle sway, which is going to make it more difficult for you to get your shots on point at long ranges, though it'll have a negligible effect up close. That's why I'm going to run ballistic CPU, and that's why I'll recommend that later on. It does have a very high wall penetration factor, highest in the game, which makes it very easy to wallbang with, especially with a high base damage and lots of really high body multipliers. It's not as easy as like the P06 or the Dracan, where you can spam through a wall or kind of like hunt for hit markers through a wall or whatever, but you can spam it and wallbang people, or if you recon pulse them, you can find them through the wall. Definitely worth going for wallbangs if that's what you want to do with this particular weapon. As for what I think about the SVG, this weapon is the DSR-50 reborn. This is the spiritual successor to the DSR-50. Huge 50 caliber monster sniper rifle, high damage, high wall penetration, crazy one-shot kill areas, very slow rate of fire. If you're trying to get quad feeds, might be kind of hard unless you're getting collaterals with it, because it just doesn't fire very fast. And I think that this is the best sniper rifle for people who actually want to snipe. If you actually want to sit back in the back of the map and pick people off and punish other people in head glitches with M8A7s or something like that, this is the weapon for you. If you like one-shot kills and you're not really worried about spamming your shots, this is the weapon for you. However, it is a terrible quickscoping weapon. If you want to quickscope, if you want to fast snipe, if you want to play aggressive, if you're a very mobile sniper, this is definitely not going to be the weapon for you. This is the old man sniper in the group, and I'm a kind of guy that likes that, so I did end up liking the SVG. As for how I think it's best, I think it's best with just the suppressor and the ballistic CPU, because as we discussed before, the suppressor has no negative effects whatsoever. Ballistic CPU is essential on this weapon because it has the highest idle sway. It's going to cut back on that idle sway, and it's going to make it much easier for you to acquire targets and pop them at long ranges. Anything else is kind of optional. I don't think it really needs stock. Extended mag is kind of worthless. Fast mag isn't half bad. Low zoom sights, I'm probably going to go for ELO or Varix or something like that, not so much the recon, but you can kind of run it with whatever you want, and I do think it is an excellent weapon because of the amount of one-shot kills it gets, and this is a true sniper rifle, so just do keep that in mind. On the handful of big maps is where I would use this the most. Guys, that is all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the P06 Burst Sniper, and the next episode we're going to be breaching over into the pistols with the MR6 pistol, and then we'll move on to LMGs. And as always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.